Hello everybody and welcome to this light novel review. In this video I'm going to be talking about volume number 1 of Inumajin's light novel series, Woof Woof story. I told you to turn me into a pampered pooch, not Fenrir. This one is released officially in English by Yen On with a translation done by Jennifer O'Donnell. If you want to pick up your own copy, I do have links to Amazon and the book depository in the description down below. This is an ongoing series in Japan. There are currently 5 volumes released. The most recent was released just in April of 2019. And the story is told in the first-person perspective, mainly from main character Rota, the, well, aforementioned pooch. This book is like a lot of other isekai light novels that we've gotten recently. A modern-day Japanese person literally works themselves to death. That's right, Truck-kun isn't the only main cause of people getting isekai'd anymore. It is overwork, the corporate masters whipping their employee. Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's clearly a statement on work ethic and the demands of the workplace. In fact, this one's pretty brutal. The guy's like, I don't think anybody will even notice I'm dead for a good long while because they're all so busy they'll just step over my body until it becomes too inconvenient, and then maybe they'll notice. In any case, he of course is, in typical light novel fashion, a goddess takes pity on him for dying in such a miserable way, and she says, hey, I'll give you another shot at life. What would you like to have in that life? And he says, I just want to be a dog. I want to be a dog who is loved and owned by a well-to-do family, because then I know I'm always going to be fed. I'm going to get lots of attention, lots of love. And other than that, I just got to sleep. Sounds like a great plan to me. And I'll be honest, as a dog owner, seeing how I treat my dog and what kind of life my dogs lead, I kind of get this guy's perspective on the whole thing. In fact, I've even mentioned to my wife, I'm like, if reincarnation's a thing, that's the way to go. In any case, our main character, of course, is then reincarnated as said pooch and is adopted by a sort of, I believe it's a dukedom, but, it's sort of a noble family. The daughter of that noble family, Mary, becomes the master or mistress of Rota. Funny enough, his name's Rota in Japan, and it's Rota in this other world that they end up in. Sort of like you're sort of emerging. It's just pre-sort of Industrial Revolution type. They're still using horse-drawn carriages and so forth. And of course there is magic. Of course there'd be magic. Why not? Now the big thing, though, is, of course, just like the title says, Rota doesn't come back as just any old dog. No, Rota comes back as a wolf, and not just even any wolf, but the king of all wolves, Fenrir. Now, if you're familiar at all with Nordic mythology, Fenrir, just to give you a tip, is the wolf that kills Odin, the All-Father. So, the namesake is nothing to sneeze at, and, well, believe me, this Fenrir's got his share of OP powers as well. And so most of the book really starts revolving around Rota trying to figure out ways that he can mask the fact that he is not just some innocent little dog, so that he can maintain his peaceful life. I had a few people ask me about artwork and mentioning artwork in these books, and you can see the artwork on this one. I have to say, I like the artwork colored. It has kind of that sort of slightly fairy tale edge to it. Of course, we have to have the obligatory bath scene drawn for us. But I don't think the artwork works quite as well when we're talking like the black and white. There's just sort of that's the witch Hecate. So, in any case, so like I said, I know a number of you have said, hey, could you show us some art? And I'll start doing that in my reviews. But like I said, I really actually like the color artwork. In particular, there's a I won't show you because I like some surprises, but there's a dragon one that's kind of cool. In any case, the story of this book is primarily told in sort of vignettes. I mean, it's all linear and as it goes along, but it focuses on specific things, and Rota either protecting his identity or protecting his family that owns him. Like one of the stories has him discovering that there are goblins sort of finding their way into the forest that is on the grounds that the family owns. It also sees Rota getting in touch with the dire wolves that apparently roam the property. And of course, the wolves, that's sort of an ongoing gag with the wolves, is of course that the wolves have lived their whole existence waiting for their king to show up so that they can topple humanity. That the reason they haven't attacked humanity at this point is because that's what they were told, to wait for the king's coming, and then that will signal the time that we can rise up against the humans. Too bad Rota's got absolutely zero inclinations to do that, and that sort of becomes like an ongoing gag. This book reads a lot sort of like the I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level, that kind of an idea, right? A character who just wants to lead a very relaxed, laid-back life, but constantly finds themselves in situations where they can do just about anything but be laid back and relaxed, and at the same time trying to minimize their involvement so that they don't get drawn into even crazier kinds of situations. It's a relatively lighthearted book. I mean, despite the fact that you can say there's some fairly serious types of situations, it's not like a joke. I mean, well, okay, there's a couple of joke situations, but I mean, as I said, one has the goblins coming onto the grounds, the other has the young mistress Mary falling very deathly ill and Rota having to seek out a medicine for her. There are some sort of larger stories that make you go, oh, well, maybe this is a little serious, but no, it's all played pretty light and low-key. There are quite a few places in here that I have to say I laughed. I think if you own a dog, you'll get more out of it, because with Rota sort of talking from a dog's perspective, there's certain things that he does. Like, for instance, there's one thing where he calls it his ultimate move to try and dispel any kind of suspicion that he's not just a normal dog, and it's for him to roll over and expose his tummy and to kind of like let his tongue hang out. And I mean, if you own a dog, like, you'll see it in your head right away, and you think, yeah, that's exactly what my dog's doing. He's playing me, or she's playing me. So I think owning a dog, there's a couple of things that I laughed at just because I envisioned my own dog sort of in that situation. You may find it a little annoying that throughout the book, whenever Rota is in the presence of non-wolf speaking people, or, you know, non-animals, it always is him speaking dog speak. So like, arf, arf, woof, woof. And then in brackets and italics, it has what he's actually thinking, or, you know, what he would be saying if they understood dog speak, or, well, I guess wolf speak. You might find that a little tiring, but I guess, you know, at the same time, it's supposed to add that whole idea that, you know, dogs are telling you something, even if you don't really understand. This book doesn't really break any new ground, and I mean, really, if you're just looking for a light novel, it's not a bad pick. And as I said, it's got a couple of laughs, particularly if you love dogs. The only thing that I would say is that it didn't have quite the same sort of heartwarming sensation that I got when I read the book that I've already compared it to, I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 Years and Maxed Out My Level. In that book, the main character, Azusa, she is more, I feel, altruistic. Like, as much as she is trying to lead her laid-back life, you do feel that she is generally invested in just about anybody who comes along that she thinks is a good person. she wants to help people. She still is a good person. Rota sometimes can come off as being quite self-centered, actually, and a lot of his actions seem very selfish, and even when he's doing something for someone else, you can't escape the fact that a lot of it is also being done so that he can maintain this life that he's leading. It's not a horrible thing, and it certainly didn't make me hate the character, but as I said, in terms of that, giving that warm, squishy feeling, I never really felt that with this book, and I really think that it's maybe because of Rota's character and his desire just to, a very, very selfish sounding desire at a lot of times, that he wants to maintain and hold on to this. There's also a couple of other running gags that I kind of got, to be honest, a little bit tired of. The fact that Rota, he's a dog, so he sees Mary naked at one point, and he's like, hey, it's no big deal, because if I was like, a 27-year-old Japanese dude, this would be a problem, but because I'm just a pooch, I'm just a dog, it's all good. And yet, and of course, he never acts like he feels anything, so it's not questionable. You're okay. But at the same time, he seems to acknowledge that he recognizes something sort of alluring about a female direwolf, and then he's like, but I'm not a furry. And that whole I'm not a furry thing comes up a couple times in the book, and I just got kind of tired of it, honestly. It just, it was almost a way to just try and make this character as completely asexual as possible. I don't like human girls, and I'm not a furry, so I'm not attracted to anything else. Even though there's kind of like a mixed race harem building around Rota, and I'll just leave you all to maybe read the book and figure that one out if you feel so inclined. So overall, Woof Woof story, you know what? It's not a bad book. It doesn't break any new ground, like I said. It's not got quite that sort of heartwarming charm that we've seen in a few other light novels that are very similar, but at the same time, it's got a good couple of laughs, particularly if you are a dog lover. So, you know what? If you're looking for something light, it's not a bad choice. For my next review, I am going to be talking about Koi Monogatari, the last book of Season 2 of the Monogatari series. That'll be my next one because, I'm a fan of the series and I want to read this one, so that'll be my next review. In the meantime, thanks for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.